It's so early. You guys want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee! Coffee, 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 coffee!
God damn, Jimmy. This is some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
Well, look at that. Oh, it's just me? Nobody else is here? Oh, there's somebody. Oh, there's somebody. Hey, it's a party.
It is. It's us.
I know that sausage one.
So, what is this saying? It's saying we're having trouble, so I'm just going to remove that one. We're not on Rumble. We're not going to be on
Bill
Rumble
kept
today.
saying that Rumble is a pain in the ass, so I guess
Yeah,
that's
so,
what it meant.
and that's for KGR. KGR is having the week off because Bill is down in the Southwest right now in Roswell, New Mexico.
Hey,
Hopefully,
was he going to join us live for a bit?
I was about to say something. Just about to explain what
I
he
just
said.
remembered. I'm sorry.
That's okay. He said
Okay, that's
that they were planning to join us, but he's not sure when. It looks like it might be Saturday before he gets to do it. But we'll find out. Yeah, I'll check in with him later. I'll probably give him a call at the hotel.
Well,
Hey man, what's going on? What's the word, man? Is the word good?
We miss you.
It's really weird not having him around. It really is. But is anybody even in the chat? Yeah, we got some people
yeah,
here finally. Oh my god!
yeah.
It was like a ghost town with tumbleweed rolling down the street. I'm like, where is everybody? Nobody's here. I was like questioning, should we even bother? Nobody showed up. I'm a whiny bitch in the morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope it's a good Friday. It's the end of the week for most people. Not everybody, but most people. And it was an eventful week. I'm not going to call this a great week. Am I crackling right now? Or am I cackling?
No, you stopped.
You're fine. Now.
Well, it's because I'm doing 1,000,000,006 things at one time because I have to do everything. So there you go.
Only 1,000,000,005?
Nope. It's the sixth one that's the most essential. Which one is the sixth one? They're all the sixth one. But it's been an interesting week. I got to tell you, Dawn and I agree after our show. Our favorite shows that we do, I don't know about anybody else, our favorite shows, because it's also about us having a good time, is when we wing it. He and I really enjoy it when we just talk about the stuff we give a shit about without a planned show. And I don't know how everybody else feels about that.
I really enjoy the shows.
Dawn and I absolutely love doing shows where there's no plan. It's just him and me talking about music, movies, sometimes telling military stories. God, I love it when we do that stream of conscious stuff that he and I do.
Yeah, you both have so much to talk about and so many stories to tell.
And I think it's important,
Short.
You can see that we're friends when we do those shows together. You can see our friendship because we're actually genuinely like talking to each other. We really do. And I think that comes through. I don't know. That's what I think. I'm not the one watching or listening to the show, so I don't get to determine.
That's what it is, and it works. It's great.
So, but anyway, shoot. So we're gonna be talking about some TV tonight or today. Tonight. Good God.
For me, it's 5 p.m.
Yeah, I just don't even know what to feel about some things right now. I know that my heart's broken right now because there's no more 1923. I guess that last episode you and I watched was the finale, and I'm like, there's no more.
We had one more.
But so much needs to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on, man? So, I really do. I enjoyed 1923. I can hardly wait till it gets. And I guarantee you, unlike 1883, this show was a hit. It really hit well with the audiences. It was Darius a hit with the audience. Oh, Darius Munchausen, Safest Munchausen for Children, is $4 super sticker with a pear drinking coffee. Even though I can't see it, I know that's what it is. And yes, as Darius says, he knows that I get that, and I do. And I'm having my fuel up. Wake is delicious. Delicious. It's scrumptious. But whoosh. So I don't know. It's been an interesting week. What's everybody else's take on this week? I just
my week sucked because I need to move again.
Yes, it's been a shitty week.
Because my stupid new landlord didn't think it through, and a month after buying the apartment, he
the voice of reason with her. Hold on, honey. I'm always the voice of reason with you, even when reason isn't really where it needs to go, because I'm always worried about you. Like, stay calm. Don't get freaked out. Don't getting. But the fact is, she pretty much called this the minute that they wanted to have that first thing that they're selling the place, and it's like, they're gonna make me move. They're gonna make me. I said, oh baby, that's a small percentage. I'm sure it won't happen. It happened.
I just don't get to.
I just told you. I just told you. You told me that. Yeah. Do you not listen to me at all?
I do. It's my curse.
Yes, I know you told me. That's what I just said.
I'm just.
Let's not talk about it's time for Anima Confusa sound effects.
Yeah. This morning sucks enough as is, so let's just talk about enjoyable things.
Nobody can do a sound effect like she can. I'm telling you.
Gerry does too. He picked it up.
No,
Joe's in the chat.
I've documented what my week was like.
Yeah. You actually looked really colorful in that last photo you took and posted on Facebook. And I think part of it's because your ginger really came through in that photo. I'm not making fun of you. It really did. Your hair was like orange.
It was. It's true.
I'm sure it was the light in the hospital bed.
Tween is a Hobbit word. Well, coming from an animation background, I don't concur with that. Maybe the version you're talking about, but when I use tween, 99% of the time I'm talking about animation, and it's one of the jobs that I got offered at Disney back in the 90s to go to work for Disney in the tweening department. And my primary function was as the job title. Are you ready for it? Eraser. And I'm like, no. I don't want to spend 9 hours to 10 hours a day cleaning up other people's artwork with an eraser. No. And that's literally before they allow you to do actual artwork, sell artwork, the sketches to the actual sell artwork. you have to come up through the job. And the lowest part of the totem pole for artists in the art department is eraser. All you get to do is clean up other people's artwork. And if you suck at that, you're not going to do anything else. And I really did consider doing it. I was also offered a job with Industrial Light and Magic. Very similar kind of job. And different, but it still had to do with cleaning up other people's artwork. It didn't do with animation. And I would know, not a fluffer. Bush, I just read that. I bet nobody knows what that means.
Unfortunately, I know what a fluffer is.
Okay, good.
Do we want to know? Do we need to know?
I'm just going to say it's a porn term to keep the star of the movie in shape. It's that person's job to make sure they're always looking up.
Okay. I did not need to know that. Thanks.
I use no filthy terms.
Are you going to give Darius a video? Or what?
So, yeah, I guess so. I'll go through them. Dead silence. Nothing going on because I got to find a video.
Oh, if you want.
Yes, that would be great if somebody else was in charge of that.
Okie dokie.
Do your
Like
job,
every
Martin.
show. It would be great.
Okay, I can do it.
All right.
So, we have this one.
You got any good stories I could tell him about how cool Nam is? You know, there's lots of things you expect in war. Carnage, the sleepless nights. But what they don't prepare you for is the incessant use of Fortunate Son.
And here's to you, Darius. Anybody who's ever seen the movie The Adventures of Ford Fairlane knows how that line ends.
And the breach, yeah.
Go ahead, man.
I'm going.
Let's see. As soon as you're done with that, I'm going to do our good mornings to everybody.
Oh my goodness, there are so many of them.
Open your back door, baby. Loosen your hinges, I'll show you my key.
I love how it has the labia majora and the clitoris on the key, the little lock. So we got Penny. Good morning, Penny. Good morning, D. Bud Martin. Good morning, Christian Delorme. Good morning, Boosh McFadden. Good morning, Dragon Ruse. Joe's Atmosphere is here. Monka Jeebus, thank you. Come again. The Comic Relief Crusader, our good friend Michael, is here. If you're not working, you should jump in with us. It'd be good to see you. Love to hear from you. I haven't talked to you in too long. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. This is one of the roughest days. 2 days a week, we do 2 shows, Wednesday and Friday. And I don't dread Wednesday as much as I dread Friday because we have less than 1 hour between shows. And got to have my shit together for that second show. Oh, boy. But today, really, I got to be honest with you, this afternoon show is about Hanna-Barbera. And I'm going to bring my A game as much as I can. This is a Keith show.
Was Hanna-Barbera.
No, it's Friday, I do believe. Isn't it today? Well, what is today's show? Do we have a Today Show? What is today's show?
I may have been mistaken. I was thinking it was.
Hold on, let me go look. No, you're right. That is Saturday. So do we even have a Friday show set up? No, I got to do that after this show. I have less than an hour to make the promo for today's show. Woo! Love my job. I haven't even talked to Geekosity this week. I haven't had time. Hope somebody can make it to the show today. Yeah, I tell people all the time, it's like I get invited onto other people's shows. I'm like, I really don't have time. And I don't have time to get our shows ready. It's just too much to do. I keep asking for help, and nobody's able to help me. Nobody can help me. Where's Freud when you need him? Oh, my God. Wake Up is good. I'm starting to feel it right now, It's not like a high or a super rush. Now, if I chug it, you'll feel the rush, but I can feel the energy level going up in me. And I like that. I like that general feeling of wellness. But any other good comments? Happy Friday to you, File 13. Yeah, eraser, clean up my shit. Yeah. And what I decided, by the way, in the 90s was I sat there and I was offered a job with this little company, a little tiny company in the Midwest. And they were offering me $28,000 a year starting. And to be their lead designer artist for their website and all their marketing, including internal marketing as well as client marketing. It's like I had to do banners, animated banners, stuff like that. And I knew how to do Flash and all that stuff back in the day. And the jobs with Disney and the job with ILM would have been closer to $60K a year. And I thought just imagine what I could do with that kind of money right now. And back when things were cheaper. Remember the 90s? $60,000 was a lot of money in the 90s. That's like almost double that now. Well, value-wise. But $60,000 is nothing a day. It would be like making $120,000 to $130,000 a day. So, but I decided to be a bigger fish in a smaller pond. I thought that was going to be the smart move, to be the bigger fish in a smaller pond. And I do think that it was a terrible career mistake on my part. But I was a dad, and I wanted to be able to focus my energy on my kid.
Yeah.
And so there you go.
And we were joined by the Comic Relief Crusader.
Yeah, Mike is here. What's up, Mike?
Good morning.
So how are things up there in Canada?
Mixed. Let's put it that way. Sent a proof to a client who then found out after 5,000 flyers were printed that, oh no, the back of these prices are wrong. So I'm going to have to get these all done all over again. I can't believe I made this mistake. It's like, well, this is why I sent you the proof to go over. Well, yes, but I was concentrating on the good side and not the prices. So I'm going to have to get another 5,000. It's like, okay, well, then you're going to have to pay me. And to help him out, I knocked off $200 off the price just to help him out. And, well, he wanted to put down half. It's like, no, you're going to have to put down the full amount. And anyway, be it the all end of the story, I had to reel him in, made the corrections. And eventually he relented and paid the full price. And on top of that, the wife wants a separation. So, meh, whatever. That's okay. I'll be fine.
We need to talk after the show. Jeez, man. Whoa. That's a showstopper. And with that, we're out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, we found out John Barrowman is coming to the GeekCon in August here in Shreveport. That's awesome.
Cool.
Except for the whole Shreveport part. That just sounds awful. Me shitting on cities.
I pity John Barrowman.
Let the coffee flow through. Yes, excellent.
Coffee usually does is flow right through.
It really does. 1 hour later, right, exactly. 1 hour later, gotta pee. It's like Chinese
Listen
food.
to the old man talk.
I saw Bill Barkley yesterday on Midnight's Edge. Tell him we miss him. Like, what the heck? We don't, our chat doesn't derail like it used to. I liked joking with him and stuff. I don't know what happened. He just disappeared off Facebook. And I don't think he blocked us or anything, because I think he's just gone. It's weird. He just disappeared. Love to see. I like his miniature work too. He does a lot of miniature models and stuff. Lights them up. Really cool shit. I miss getting those videos and photos he would send me.
He's probably.
But anyway, what, Mike?
He's probably on a secret mission.
A secret mission. But Monkey Jeebus, if you see him again, tell him we miss him. Would you please? I appreciate it, buddy. Darius says Pepperidge Farms remembers Flash. Pepperidge Farm remembers Macromedia. Pepperidge Farms remembers Action Script 2.0. That's right. Macromedia was eventually bought out, and
Yeah.
let's see. I bought my first car for $425. I'm assuming dollars. Hell out of high school. I got a show Taurus for cheap. Taurus was a piece of crap. I had when I was in the Army, the first car I bought while I was in the Army, new car I ever bought. It was the first new car I ever bought. I got really angry at the salesman later because I told him, I said, I want an American car with only American parts. And they sold me the Sundance Americana.
Ooh.
Plymouth.
Damn.
And I got under the hood and saw parts by Mitsubishi. The engine itself produced by Mitsubishi.
God.
And I tried to get out of that contract. I was really angry about that. I felt betrayed. I was really happy when I finally I filed. What is that called when you file a bankruptcy? I forget what the chapter number is on it. And they told me I could keep the car. Seriously, after the thing, that was it. I could keep the car. I took it over to the dealership and left it there with a note going, "Fuck you, you can keep it."
Mine was a 77 Ford Granada.
Oh.
Dark army green. Oh, yeah. And it was sitting in the guy's garage for about 7 years. The gas all inside was causing the gas tank to rust away. Oh, my God. There wasn't a week that went by that I had to change the fuel filter.
Yeah, I always laughed that the Nova was a big seller in Latin America. Remember the Nova?
Oh, God.
And I'm like, why would you keep that name in Spanish-speaking world? It means no go.
Could have been worse.
Nova.
Volare.
Volare. Whoa. A cantare. Oh, 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 oh. I love that
think
song.
I want to take the day off, please.
Every day's a day off for you, baby. Hanging out with me. It's like a vacation. ActionScript is the only programming language that ever got me dates. Thanks, Macromedia. Students taking Flash class were artists, not programmers. And artists always appreciate and help learning code. Yeah. I worked in the IT department, and I was considered an adopted member of the IT department. But all I was a very good graphic designer who knew how to write code. And I did Flash. And Flash animation was the thing for a while. Get a Toyota. I just was talking to Scott about this, that one of the most wonderful things about Japanese cars, specifically Honda and Toyota, if you take care of them, seriously, check the filters all the time, change that oil, clean the gas line, those cars will last a lifetime. Hondas and Toyotas, they're made that well.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my Honda Accord. I bought it in the early 90s. It was used when I bought it. And that thing lasted me until my next to last ex-wife. And she apparently doesn't know how to read a dipstick for oil. I kept going, "Did you check the oil? Are you sure? Because, man, it's been a while." "Yeah, it's fine." Okay. Because her family owned the main garage in town. They were all mechanics. So I'm like, she can't be stupid. And then I found out she does not know how to read a dipstick in a family of mechanics. She would she would pull the dipstick out, and if there was a streak of oil on it anywhere, wherever that level was, is where the oil was. Not realizing it was bone dry.
That's good.
Yeah, wow. She locked up 2 engines. 2. That's Zoe's mother. Locked up 2 engines. Killed our Honda Accord, and then the next car was a Jeep Cherokee. because I love Jeeps. My brother Mike and I love Jeeps.
We have another breed.
And I am kind of a dipstick. Anima works when you are sleeping, Gary. She's like Dobby.
Definitely Dobby sized.
And Dragoner is, what is this? My first car, 1994 Ford Ranger. I've had a Ford Ranger. It really wasn't that bad. But my biggest complaint on it is the seating system. The rail system doesn't work on it right. And eventually the teeth on the wheel for controlling the back gave out on my back. Nothing funnier than sitting down one day and just suddenly dropping back into the back seat. Like, thank God that didn't happen while I was driving. Oh my God.
Oh.
But then again, I wouldn't have fallen back. I would have been holding the wheel, but it happened right when I was getting in the car. And I went to, because it's just a normal thing for tall guys to do, is we get in and we push up to make sure we're all the way to the back of the seat. Tall guys do that. It's a normal thing. And the minute I did it, boom, I heard this loud pop and it just went back.
That happened to me too. Oh God. The sheer terror.
Anima works when you're sleeping. Hold on, let me get see. Wahahaha. I thought you were her. Yeah, I got that one. Do we need to play a video for that one? Play a video for that one. My Honda Civic is 20 years old. Yeah, there you go. D-Bud, there you go. Proof is in the pudding. Japanese cars like that absolutely will keep going because they're that well made, especially the older cars.
Okay, going with the back door.
Front door team and back door team.
You know Scan Dog's all about the back door, but quick question, when has splitting the party ever worked?
Yeah, and the reason why, and I believe this is the reason why, is because coding, I just happen to be one of those weird artists that's center brain. That means I can switch to left to right side of my brain. And the logic center, which is where you do your coding from, and then there's the creative side of the brain. And but I tell people that I cannot switch too quickly because I actually get headaches from it when I try to switch from doing technical work to doing creative work. And it really does. And I get frustrated and I get really tired. Or as we say in Virginia, tired. I get tired. But I learned to code back in the 90s. So it was 95. I started teaching myself Java and HTML. I was going to Eastern Illinois University at the time. D-Bud drives down the driveway to get the mail and then back in his garage.
Jeebus is on fire today.
He is on fire today. Rigging is dude, that is like, I refer to that as the flatter of 3D artwork. It is, because I'm a colorist and an artist. I do the inks, pencils, and the colors. The job I hate doing, and there are people out there, witnesses to me pissing and moaning about having to do flatting work. I hate doing flatting work. It's a necessary job. It is essential to be able to color. You have to have flats. And without the flats, you can't color a comic book. So I usually hired somebody to do it for me. And I always considered the flatting job version of that in 3D is rigging.
As a programmer, I am not in agreement with this statement from Darius. Too meticulous for programmers? Man. Programming is all about being
It's about the meticulous. No, you're right. What it is it's too meticulous for creatives, and they get frustrated with it. I do, because I sculpt 3D too, and I'm trying to learn a new kind of sculpting, because what I work in is it's similar to AutoCAD the way it started, but now it's better as Google SketchUp Pro. And I can build objects, vehicles, and I build a lot of the sets for my comic books. That way I don't have to worry about doing 3-point perspective anymore. I just do it with 3D models. So, and it's easier when you want to draw a different angle of the same room that you created. I just turn the room to the angle I want. I just got to remember light source. That's it.
That's actually pretty smart.
I'm not the only one that does it. I don't know if Graham's going to get mad. Don't tell him. Graham Nolan does it.
Telling people secrets out of school.
I hope he doesn't get mad at me. But we've talked about it, and he's not the only one. My buddy John Aldering, he used to do it too. In fact, he's the one I learned it from back in the 2000s.
Huh. I never actually thought of it that way.
John Aldering is the guy who introduced me to it. And when we did the comic art, because we were going to do a graphic novel version of City of Fire, which was the true story of the Battle for Mosul back in 2004. And we realized, because we thought, we'll draw these strikers and it'll be no problem. And then one of the guys that served in that striker unit goes, those strikers have slat armor. And I'm like, I've never heard of slat armor. So I had to go look it up. Striker in Iraq. And they were made a very special way because you have two kinds of strikers. And the striker is basically, it's made by General Dynamics, which used to be in Canada. Now they have a division right here in the Springfield, Missouri area. Oh, actually, it's in Joplin, where I was living. And I was like, oh my God. But the Striker is nothing more than a larger version of the LAV that the Marine Corps drove, the 8-wheel vehicle that they had. It's like just over, it's not quite double, but it is larger by about 5 feet lengthwise. Width, it's about 4 feet total, 2 feet on each side wider. So it has a really great area inside for carrying troops from one location to another very quietly and very quickly. That thing can get up to 60, 70 miles an hour. And it's got a quiet encased engine. And it runs on what's called run flats. And it's an amazing vehicle. This is what your standard, this is what John and I we were going to draw the book. We're thinking, oh, well, this is going to be easy. This is going to be no problem at all. We can draw this from any angle. Look at that cool ass vehicle. It looks like something from a sci-fi movie, right?
Yeah.
It's badass. And just like this one, it had the automatic robotic. They controlled it down there in the command seat. And in the command seat, you had the FBCB2 system and the aiming system for this guy, that 50 cal. And then back here, you see that guy sticking up out of the hatch there. That's the air guard hatch. And I know all about these vehicles. I learned everything you needed to know about them because I was going to draw them. And then one of the guys that was in the unit goes, our strikers didn't look like that one. We didn't drive one that looked like that.
Right.
Ours didn't look like that. Ours looked like this. They had this railing system outside the vehicle. And I'm trying to click on it here. Hold on. This one here. See that? Right. See those things?
Yep.
And let me find an even better one. Share screen. Here we go. This is the slat system. And what this was for was to protect the vehicle even more from RPGs. And because you can only take so many direct hits. And so they had created, this is all welded together. And they would make it in the field and then put it on the vehicle there on site in Iraq. And it went around almost the entire vehicle except for that back door, that back hatch.
Yeah.
And the slat system, I want you to look how thin those slats are on there. That's like Venetian blinds. And John and I had this look on our face when we saw that and knew that we couldn't draw it. We were like,
oh, crap.
We can't draw that. Those lines are too thin. you can't draw that. It won't even show up. It won't register. It'll look like mud. And once we were confronted by that, it was like, oh crap, what are we going to do? So what did we do? We sat and figured it out one day, and he goes, I'm gonna sculpt it in 3D. I went, really? He goes, yeah. What are you going to use? I'm going to use this program called Google SketchUp. So he went and he took the photos and the schematics of the actual striker from every angle and built it. And I'll show you what it looked like. Hold on, I'll find it here. His and my artwork on this is really good. His job was to draw specific things because he had control of the 3D model. I'm just going to go to my E drive and look this up real. City of Fire.
John, is that whistling coming from you?
Yeah.
No, it's not come from me.
Oh, nope. Oh, it's Mike. Mike's up in the Canadias.
Yeah. It's the whistling snow of the Arctic tundra up here.
You got to say that like an Inuit.
Oh, that's right. It's the whistling snow, like from the Arctic tundra, as I chew on my whale blubber.
Hey, Real Wade Nation is here, as well as Six is here. Good morning, Six. And
Morning.
Alex Moore. Good morning. I'm glad to see everybody. So, City of Fire, he and I drew, I think it was a total of 6 pages, 10 pages we did. And it was, I got to tell you, man, it was a lot of fun doing it. But we never got the graphic novel we wanted to do. We never got to do it. Instead, we ended up just doing those pages and then using it as storyboards for the script that Dale Dye adapted from my comic script. Because I wrote the first, it was technically a screenplay when I wrote it. And then I broke it down into a graphic novel script because it's written differently. You got to break it down differently. And boy, oh boy, man. Really surprised I can't seem to find any of the artwork for it. It is out there, though. You can actually look up City of Fire, Gerry Cassell, and you'll find some of the artwork on there. And we had to draw a page where a guy was up on top of the mosque and fires an RPG down, hitting a striker. And the RPG at the angle that it hit at lifted 4 of the wheels in the air when it went off. And that was the IED that caused one of the real soldiers in there to get a TBI because he was right next to the wall where the RPG struck. And I interviewed everybody that was available, which was like 6 people from that battle. And it was an exciting script. There's a lot of shit in there, real stuff. And one of the things I wanted to do was tell the story from the point of view of the combat medic, not just because I was a combat medic and I understand how they think, but because I knew that the only way to tell a story of a group of people was to find the one person that would be in contact with them throughout the story. And the combat medics are always moving around, checking on everybody, making sure everybody's hydrated. Seriously, that's really one of the main jobs of a combat medic until somebody's hurt, is making sure they're hydrated and they're clean. I gave lectures on hygiene. But in 3D, here we go. Put on your 3D glasses. I wish I could find a damn thing. I don't know why it's being so difficult. I'm just going to look up the word fire. Maybe that'll help. Oh, I actually have... I'm not going to show it here, but I actually have like footage of the part of the battle, and I used it as a reference for 2 of the scenes. Oh, I know one. I can find it at. It'll be under my portfolio. Yeah, there we go. Go into comic art. I'm so glad I'm the only one that talks. Nobody else. So when I get quiet, it's just silence. It's sarcasm.
Because you're such a good storyteller.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat, waiting to see this image.
All right. Is this it? I'm hoping I find it here. Old portfolio illustration. Here we go. Should be right. Yep, there we go. Found it. So let me go ahead and share screen. Share screen. Entire screen. That screen. Share screen. There we go. So here's some of my dragon work. I did this back in the 90s too. That kick-ass looking dragon. Used watercolor brushes for the wings to give it that veined look.
Nice.
Back in the 90s, for the artwork I did for the movie Running Time, Bruce Campbell. But here you go. Here is a page of art. This is all from the 3D model. That's only artwork. I drew that. I drew all of this. I drew the buildings. And John's job was to render the strikers. And he would do the clouds, the dust clouds around it. And here you can see what the inside of the striker looks like there. See if I can open this. Should open it in photos. That's a good one for slideshows and stuff, I guess. Yeah, here we go. You can get into the minutia of this shot here, where they had to take a sharp turn. I was showing what it's like. And see this station right here is the one I'm talking about. This is where the FBCB2 system is set up and where they control the mounted 50. And that's his job right here, this guy in that far bottom right panel.
Yeah.
And then here's some colored pages that we did. Open the photo. And there's really cool shots. They got the nickname, and this is how we were doing it. We weren't going to do the boxes. We wanted to have the words inset into the artwork, like an illustrated story. And the strikers would roll up, and nobody was even aware they were showing up. Like, what was that? Did I hear something? They got the nickname. The strikers got the nickname the Ghosts of Samara because of that. And they scared the shit out of the insurgents. Here we go. Another shot of that. Because I did that drawing of the guy in there, but I was told later, no, the hatch would be closed. So I'm like, oh, that lost the human drama. I like the human drama. And of course, this shot here shows the hatch up, and I later had to redraw that with the hatch closed. So I wanted to show. I like showing the human aspect of a story.
Yeah.
And here's the mounted 50 on top. Here is the air guard hatches, and that is the gunner observation hatch. This is the gunner hatch, and and this is where the engine is, right here. This area right here next to the driver. Mm-hmm. It's a science fiction vehicle, man. It really is. Does this have it? No, this is it right here where we had to show it getting rocked by an RPG. Photos. Boom.
Wow.
And in movies, they always show the RPG go in a straight line. You wish. RPGs do not go in a perfect straight line when they fire.
But you're right. That is a lot of line work on the sides.
Exactly. And this was one of the covers I did. Another version of the cover I did. I think this was the first version. Second version, standalone, I did. And then finally opted for this one because I thought it was, a proper use of comic art. But it's a hell of a vehicle, man. Stryker. It's a beast. So, but anyway, I'm sorry if I'm boring you, Six. I'm sorry. I really am. I like to talk about things I'm excited about, and that's stuff that I was excited about, and it just didn't happen. We got the screenplay written. It cost $10,000, and then no film. We were set up to make a film in northern Iraq, and all of a sudden, because the Kurdistan is what they call themselves. They
Yeah.
they were going to fund the film for about $5.5 million, and we were about to be flown out to meet with the government, and because they were all for showing what happened that day and being part of this, and all of a sudden they had a little mini revolution take place, and that well went empty. Didn't dry up, it went empty. Oof. But but I was serious. I always worry that the shit I talk about is boring to people, and it would have been an amazing field. Dale Dye would have directed it. Dale Dye was set to direct, not just be, his company was going to be the senior technical military advisors for the film, but he himself was going to be the director. And we had a lot of guys involved with the battle, talking to guys like Colby Bazell, who's very well known. He worked for Penthouse as one of their foreign correspondents. He was in the battle. At the time, a gentleman named Ernesto, who was the combat medic in the battle, was involved. But it just fizzled very quickly. It was really devastating to watch that happen. I'd never seen anything like that, because I can walk out and make something happen for graphic novels and stuff. Just walk out and do it. I just need the initiative to do it. And once I have the initiative, I go do it, and then it happens. It's like when I did Code Word Geronimo, and I remember one of my business partners was like, I think the company needs to get like a certain percentage of that. And I'm like, in order to pay back some of the debt. I said, no, the talent gets paid first. Always. With graphic novels, you pay the writers and you pay the artists, and you make sure you pay them a proper fee. And he goes, well, I just don't. And I said, look, man, I'm the one who sold this deal to IDW. I'll walk away with it and just sell it myself instead of through the company, our company, if you're going to do it that way. And then all of a sudden everybody got quiet. And I know people go, you know how to play hardball, Gerry, in business? Yeah.
Yeah. And don't worry about being too boring, because if I was too bored, you'd hear this.
Clytus, I'm bored.
That's the rest of the story.
Yeah, what's the rest of the story is we've tried to resurrect that company. The name of the company was Charlie Foxtrot Entertainment. And the guys, I love them. They're all still close friends of mine. They're not just my former business partners, which includes Tom Waltz from IDW. It included John Del Vecchio, who's been on this show, and he's been on our Dangerous Military Nerds show. It included Doug Esposito from New Jersey, and Dale Dye.
Wow.
Was part of the company, and we all got together. That's how I became artist for Dale Dye's company. He goes, you do art, huh? I went, yes, sir. So in 2006, I became the official artist of Warriors Incorporated and Warrior Publishing Group.
Sweet deal.
And yeah. And I'll die before I leave that job. I love them. But I mean, like when I've had bad days and I've had some rough days, I'm okay with it, because I'll remind myself, I know Dale Dye. I work for Dale Dye. I posted that one day on my Facebook page. I said, oh my God, I woke up today just really down on where I'm at and what I'm doing. And then I reminded myself, I know Dale Dye and work for Dale Dye. And then Dale posted on my page, and Dale knows you, sir. It made me happy. It was like, it just tickled me.
You got the tickles down there.
And then Julia, his wife, goes, and we love you. And that just sent me into the clouds. And so I always remind myself, when I'm down, I'll remind myself little things like that. And people don't understand, creative people, artists, do suffer from, we're all mildly bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get hit with depression pretty hard. Since I was a kid, I'd get hit by it. But I've always had a way of functionally getting out of it, on my own.
Yeah.
Nobody taught me. I just learned how to, I refer to it as self-redirection. I redirect myself.
Yeah,
and
same here.
I've talked to Anima about this. I said I don't know how I learned this, where I learned it from. It's just it happens, and because depression can be really devastating. My daughter has it, and I talk to her all the time about it.
Yeah,
and I would tell her what I do to help me get through it. I said, I don't know if it'll help you. I hope it does. When I come into that's all I do with her. When she has a situation, I go, when I had to go through this, this is what I did. I can't guarantee that's going to work for you. I can't.
Yeah, I suffer through severe depression, so I understand.
And it's difficult, Oh, super sticker from. Can anybody see what that is? I can't see it.
Yeah, she shit on us.
Did you shit on me? No, it's not you guys. She's shitting on me.
Yeah.
It's always poop.
It's
Gerry.
always about me. When it's poop, it's about me. Thank you, Six. You want to play a video for her?
Maybe.
Hey, where these stairs go? They go up.
Well, the old ones.
What a long, drawn out thank you. I need to trim those. I want it less 70s and more, 90s to 2000s. Anybody who loves porn understands what that joke meant.
Mm-hmm.
Need some trimming.
Well, now she threw a rose at us.
Look at you. And more money. It's a little more. It's like 50 cents more. Another video, dude. Now you understand my frustration. Oh, man. Let's do our commercial break, get it done, and then move into the second half and talk about these shows.
Yeah, that rose is for Anima for putting up.
Of course it is. She's the awesome one.
Well, we're going to break.
Yes.
Hi, guys. This is Gerry from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
A birthday without her mom. An anniversary without her husband. Her wedding day without her dad. These are the days when military families feel it most of all. The loss of their soldier, their sailor, their airman, their Marine, their Coast Guardsmen. Families never forget their loved ones lost to war or illness or suicide. Families never forget, and neither do we. We are TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We provide resources, support, and comfort to heal the hearts and meet the needs of grieving military families, all at no cost to them. Your generosity can make an enormous difference in the lives of the families of our fallen military heroes. Our military families need to know they are not alone and they are not forgotten. Show them your support at taps.org.
Are we alone in the universe? The most important.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow. We survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more pop culture minefield on KGRA.
Jinkies.
Bruh. That's an Archer joke. That's really for Anima. And of course, she's not laughing at it. So,
What?
I did an Archer joke. I was drinking when the show started with my finger up.
I didn't
Yeah, I
catch
know.
that.
You're
Sorry,
so
I
into
just-
it. You're so
No, I
into
went-
this show today.
Jesus, I'm just waiting for you to finally get to our actual topic.
We have a topic for today?
Now I'm not going to. I was actually planning to get ready to pop up the graphic I made just for this show. Because somebody has an excessive expectation of me and does it in a negative way instead of being proactive and positive.
Way to go, Adam.
How dare you?
So, yeah, that's what I like. I like being tongue lashed when I'm on the show. Yeah. So we either talk about this one first or we talk about this one first. You guys decide. I'll leave it up to you. Put some pressure on somebody else other than me.
I haven't seen any of them, I think, so I don't care.
I'm gonna flip a
John,
coin
you
here.
decide. You're our star today.
1923.
Nice.
Why am I the star?
So here we go. Because you were in the hospital.
Yeah.
You're like that kid that gets this, what's it called? Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Jeez, Gerry.
Wow. That was good.
The opinions of our
John,
host.
what do you want to talk about?
My
All right, so go into it, guys. Let's
Comments
hear it.
and opinions
Half an
expressed by
hour.
our host do not reflect the views of the rest of the panel.
Next half hour is yours. Let's go.
If they do, they're well hidden.
Let's talk about
That's
1923. Yeah. Anima? John?
Yeah.
Yours. Let's go.
Well, it occurred 100 years ago, way back in the Old West, with a bunch of old fogies trying
Well,
to
it's.
make a
I guess
living.
it started out where where episode 2 concluded with Spencer and Alexandria.
No. It
Yeah.
starts with the cowboys coming back to the farm. And
Does
they
it?
tell the
I
women
thought
what
it was-
happened, and they plan to go to town the next day to tell
Oh.
the sheriff.
You have the notes. I don't exactly remember it because I watched it when I was a little loopy. So
And on the next day, they go to town, and they're salesmen selling electrical devices. It shows really how times are changing, and they are really not having it. They, the Helen Mirren character, what's her name, Kara. She's like, so you produce the electricity, and then you make us believe we need all these devices that need electricity to sell them to us. But they're not really having it. But they're curious, but not really interested in moving on. They're kind of old school.
yeah,
The cowboys and their wives. And let's see. Yeah, Dutton goes to the sheriff, and of course he gets an earful for hanging those guys and taking justice in his own hands. And he hoped for support by the sheriff, but he's not getting it, which makes him angry. They also are stuck in town for the night because it got too late to get back to the farm. So the young people do what young people do when they're in town. They go to a jazz club, a secret one, in a basement of a building, and really enjoy themselves. And back at the hotel, Elizabeth tries to say goodnight to Jack and stay in her room, but she can't. She lets him in. She seduces him, which is kind of cute. And then we move on to Spencer, trying to get info about the hyena attacking the railroad engineers. And his guides are not here yet, so he can't really do anything. And the captain or boss of the camp doesn't really have any valid information for him. So for now, he just knows it's either an old one or an injured one, because she goes for easy prey. Because he can't do anything about the hyena yet, he takes Alexandra to see footprints in lava rock. And they have a nice little chat about, he's asking her if he can call her Alex, and he's doing it in such a clumsy way But she starts laughing at him, and it's like, yeah, if you're that complicated asking about giving me a nickname, how is your proposal going to be? And he proposes to her right there and then. I love that scene. But the next thing that happens is they get attacked by an elephant, and the car is broken. Spencer manages to kill the elephant, but the car is down. So they need to climb on a tree to stay safe for the night because it's just dangerous out there. They're just hoping that somebody from the camp will go look for them eventually. And at night, of course, lions come for the dead elephant. And Alexandra just can't shut up and draws the lion's attention. And of course, they prefer the fresh meat. So they go for the tree and try to get up, and Spencer shoots them, some of them. And they're eventually saved because people from the camp find them. They hear the shots and locate them that way. When they get down from the tree, Spencer introduces Alexandra as her fiance and then turns to her and asks, "You are still my fiance, right?" And she's like, "We talk about that in the car," because she's shook. And pretty much blows up at him in the car that she didn't feel very alive while they were in danger, and she never wants to feel like that again. And basically tells me, "You need to find a new job because I'm not having any of this." And of course he agrees because he's a good guy.
He agrees because he's the guy.
He's a good guy.
I thought he said he's a guy. I'm
no,
like,
she said good guy.
Yeah.
She just says good and guy so quickly you missed it, but it is 2 words.
He understands me.
I do.
Well, you talk to me a lot.
Hey, some people just popped in. I want to say hi to them. I didn't want to interrupt you. So we got ranch dressing. Shut up, Comic Relief Crusader. Ranch dressing. Zax is here. Morning, Zax. And Davina Duckworth is here. Good morning. And yeah, the ranch comment was because she said farm, and it's not a farm; it's a ranch.
And it's not angry; it's ornery.
What?
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 What
did you say, Mike?
It's not mad. It's ornery.
Shut up. But no, she's never been on one, and there's a slight difference. Farms, you can have a farm on a ranch or a ranch on a farm, but what they have is not a farm; it's a ranch because they don't really grow anything there. Their primary function is animal husbandry for food. And
I'm sorry for mixing up words in a language that is not my native.
I just said,
Jesus.
We forgive
Did
you.
I just not give her an out for that?
You did.
Yeah,
I swear to God, she doesn't listen to me at all.
No, that wasn't.
You hear what you want
that
to
was
hear.
For the guy down there, Comic Relief Crusader.
Oh.
For that.
Oh, him? Yeah, fuck Mike. We don't give a shit what he thinks.
F-bomb.
That's my second for the show, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I was told not to look at the PCM chat by Monkey Jeebus, so I had to, and this is what he made for me.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You are so evil, Monkey. Like Monkey is one of those guys that says, "You know what? Screw lines. I'm going straight to hell."
Yeah, absolutely.
If you just joined us, we are talking about this show, 1923. It is created or mostly created by Taylor Sheridan. He's one of the co-creators because it's part of Yellowstone, which he co-created. And he's the senior writer on. I do want to point out about that photo. Her eyes look wrong. It's like somebody went in and changed where her eyes are looking.
That's true, yeah.
It's off. As an artist, I'm immediately drawn to that.
Isn't it?
And I don't think that's where her eyes were positioned, and they just changed it. They may have even been closed. I don't know. That's actually my money is on her eyes were closed because he was kissing her forehead, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, we need your eyes open." Well, I'm not doing the photo again, my dear. Love. And they're like, hire a CG artist, go in there. And they look hinky. They look hinky as hell.
She has no dream, man. She's all dead inside.
Yeah, she's all dead inside.
And she's really not. Hi, Sax.
And Abdulio is here. Yeah, Uncanny Valley Eyes. I actually have a script that you'd probably like, Abdulio. It's called The Uncanny Valley. And it's the story of a company producing bioengineered robots. And they're trying to infiltrate it into society, all the way up into government. And a series of murders take place in the major city in the story. And two cops are set there. And during the investigation, one cop discovers his partner is one. And that's the story.
So it's like Replicants.
Oh, it's inspired by Blade Runner. Clearly, I'm a Blade Runner fan.
Mm.
But it's a creepy murder because an entire family has been killed and posed in sun chairs around their pool with the classic, because this is from history as well as in another franchise, mirrors in the eyes to make it look like they're alive and looking. And it was used in what's his name? I forget it. The guy who created Hannibal Lecter.
What's his name?
Red Dragon is the book that it's in.
Yeah.
Right.
Harris?
I think that's it. Something Harris. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that had an impact on me. And then I went and I read about that. Like, is that a thing? And it's like, oh my God. Yeah, because the killer wants to be seen. And they want to see themselves through the eyes of their victim. Yep. It's creepy as hell, the psychological aspect of that. And so this replicant, we just simply call a bioengineered robot. And it's kind of an android, but it's not, because it's not mechanical. It's all bioengineered, which is what replicants are. Replicants are bioengineered robots. Their organs are manufactured.
It's got an almost human feel to it.
Yeah. And the only thing synthetic about them is their brain. And what ends up happening in the story, I'll just give you a quick lowdown, is they end up not being one of the bad ones, the cop, and ends up helping because they're unaware. They're unaware that they're not human. It shocks them. It's sort of like, that's also my nod to The Thing. Did they really know they were overtaken? Would you be aware, would your brain, once it's been overtaken, be aware that all of its cells weren't the normal cells that you came up with? And eventually you would become aware, but would you be aware when it happens, that transition from being human to the thing? And that's something that's always like been interesting to me, because it's why I like Philip K. Dick as a writer.
Well, I imagine
so where are we?
Subconscious would pick it up.
Your subconscious picks everything up. But yeah. But let's get back to this. 1923, where we need to get back into this.
Yeah, so the episode's title is The War Has Come Home. And this is what happens next. Because they are on the way back to the ranch and being ambushed by the sheep guys. Elizabeth is hit first.
Those sons of bitches.
Yeah, those sons of bitches. And then Banner comes in his car and he gets out and he has a machine gun and he just mows them down. It's brutal to watch. Jacob is really badly wounded. Emma's husband is killed, which breaks her. And we see the scene from the beginning that didn't make sense in the beginning, but Kara goes after this guy and shoots him.
And he is, Ford's character's, Jacob's, is that his name, Jacob?
Jacob, yeah.
It's his best friend, and it's played wonderfully by James Badge Dale, who is a student of Dale Dye. He was trained by Dale Dye for the Pacific. And he's used that skill in everything. Everything he taught, he knows how to handle guns and all that shit because of Dale Dye. The point where we end up where the first episode started.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Where she hunts that guy down, and it's that moment of who can reload faster.
It's her, and she shoots him, and then she just screams because, yeah, it's hard. What's happening? It's really war. What's going on?
Yeah, Davina, we should talk about that sometime. I would love to talk about the Uncanny Valley, how that works. But it really is one of those moments that even I was like, with.
Yeah, because You don't
It's
know
a
if he
shootout.
survives it. It's so bad.
No, he ends every episode with a cliffhanger like that. He does that, and I love that. Taylor Sheridan is one of the best high drama writers. Not just one of the, he is the best screenwriter working on TV right now. But he is also one of the best high drama writers I've seen in a long time. That guy writes high drama.
Yep.
This is like Japanese opera level drama. Even I would say opera period, because Anima and I were talking about this privately, about how opera is very violent. It's very brutal. There's a lot of murder
Because
in
Gerry keeps
opera.
telling me how young he was when he watched really brutal films, and I was like, yeah, my dad really shielded us, and I was like, wait. I was watching Wagner operas at the age of 5.
Yeah, right. Because I watched Al Pacino as Serpico when I was 9. I went to the movie theater, and it was funny because I told this story because my dad was trying to cover my eyes with my ears and couldn't figure out at some points which one. So he was like, just kind of doing his. I could see through the fingers. I wasn't missing a thing. I could hear everything and see everything. It was like pointless, Dad. I'm like, I can see and hear everything, Dad. You just don't bother. And he stopped. And so I was exposed to real movies as a little kid. And you would think, oh, that'd be terrible. No, it had such a major impact on me. It's why I because I'm in a little bit of an argument with, Mike. I don't want to say his last name. He's a big comic book name, worked on The Punisher. And we're having a bit of an argument about a TV show. And
last
a TV
name
show.
Hunt?
No, you know him. He's been on our show.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to make a Simpsons joke.
Yeah,
Mike,
I know. And
last name Hunt.
Mike Hunt?
Yeah.
Mike Hunt? So he's saying he loves this show, Poker Face. And I'm like, I have problems with it, with the writing. And it's funny. It's very rare when a real writer argues with me. Because they tend to go, you're right, but he's absolutely digging his heels in with me. And I'm like going, this is why, because it is a piss poor replica of something else. And I see it. And once you become aware of something, it should bother you as a writer that it's there. And it is a cheap knockoff of Columbo, intentionally so. In fact, if you remember in 2019, there was a playful war between Mark Ruffalo and her as to who was going to be cast as the new Columbo. It was supposed to be Columbo. And then that got nixed, and Rian Johnson says, well, I'll do my own version. And that's what happened. That's why the show feels and looks a lot like Columbo. They even do the intro the same way. So anyway, 1923. The shooting takes place at the end, and we're left wondering if he's dead.
They bring both Jack and Elizabeth back to the ranch, and Carrie's in command. Like, put them on the table, go for the scissors, put pressure on the wounds, stop bleeding. And the moment the doctor and the nurses arrive, and she's dismissed, she's sent out of the kitchen. She's lost because she doesn't have anything to do. So she does what she always does when she feels like that. She writes a letter to Spencer, and this time she's telling him, "War has reached your family. You need to come home. I know you're still trying to figure out who you are after the war, but this has to wait. You need to come home."
Absolutely. And, I got to tell you, this episode was one of the most emotional for me. Not the most. I mean, from the damn tree and those damn lions.
Oh, that was intense, yeah.
To the battle between the ranchers and the sheep herders. And I hate to tell you this, I have always had a disdain for the American sheep herders during those range wars, because they really had way too much of a commie attitude of it should be communal property. No, it's private property.
They thought they were entitled to all that, and
they really do. It's people act like entitlement is like this new thing that we've seen. No, it crops up every once in a while. People who think they're entitled to shit, and they think because they chose the shit into the stick that they should be given things because they chose the shit into the stick. Yeah, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. Good morning, Glenn. How are you doing? And by the way, I just saw this one. My parents were so concerned at the end of the episode, wondering if Harrison Ford was really going to die already. And at that time, the Spanish version was only up to episode 3. Oh, yeah. I got to tell you, I was like, Taylor Sheridan, you son of a bitch. Do not kill Harrison Ford this early. You will lose me. But it happened. It hasn't been a show with weapons not having Dale die on set, I've noticed.
Echo 3, and that's why it sucked.
And Echo 3 is really terrible. And I'm friends with one of the actors in it, who his character may be coming back if they have a second season. And I spoke to him personally. Anima was there when we talked. Worst technical advisor work I've ever seen. They, and I couldn't find anybody listed as the military technical advisor on the show.
I had someone.
But Echo 3's military shit, crap. Now, there are situations, broken arrow situations with Navy SEALs. They've run into them many a time where they get separated. But they have a very specific way of trying to deal with that. And they really do. The Navy does call in backup. They'll bring in Rangers or Marines, whoever's close, help our guys out. They'll do that. I think one of the few broken arrow situations where that didn't happen was because of administration interference with what happened you see it in the movie 13 Hours, which I have not put Anima through yet. She's going to eventually have to see that movie. Yeah, I know. I know.
And Alex,
and it's the third act. It's the third act again, Anima. It's the third act that gets rough. Up to that, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's so much action, and we got to get to this point A to point B. We got to get to this point. We got to go back to point A. We got to get there alive. And so much happens there in that third act that I felt completely crushed emotionally by the time I got there, because I really cared, because I know that every single person depicted in this movie is a real person that went through that.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, my opinion is that is the single best and only great film that Michael Bay has ever done. It's the best film he ever did, and the only great film he ever did. So, Glenn, how are you doing, my friend? I hope everything's okay over there in the UK.
When they're done right, Michael Bay can do a good military movie, but
he loves the military.
He does, yeah, and he does have a good relationship with the military.
And it's his relationship with the kid that brought about him being cast as Jack Ryan, because he was the one of the senior showrunners. And I think the mistakes made in the first season, if he and his partner hadn't been removed as showrunners by Amazon, I think they would have repaired and made a better second season. But instead, they fired him, brought in new guys, and they came up with this stupid pro-Bezos, pro-socialist, pro-communist plot line that was just ridiculous. And one of the bad ideas was making Greer, not making him Muslim, but making that an important point for the story in the first season. I thought that was stupid. Just say he is and just move on.
Yep.
No, they had to keep making a point about it. And I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me with this shit. Real people don't do that in real life. I served with Muslims. Do you think it was a major topic at any given point? No. We never cared. I knew atheists. I knew Christians. I knew Mormons. I knew one Wiccan. And I did say one thing to him. I said, don't you tell anybody you do that.
Yeah, where they really lose it is when they move a character trait from a character trait to a talking point.
Yeah,
that's it. Instead of good narrative or good dialogue, it goes to talking points, bullet points. This is there for a reason. This line is there for a reason. It has nothing to do with the story.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely, you got me there, man. Absolutely right, John. I looked it up, and at the time, sheep herders were always getting into problems with farmers, ranchers, too. They did get in trouble with farmers too, because farmers would have dairy cows a lot of the time, and smaller groups of animals on their farm. And I got to tell you, man, You start putting your sheep on land grazing where you want your animals to go, you're going to have a beef. And they get murdered.
Or a
There are a
mutton.
lot of murders. What's that?
Or a mutton.
Or mutton. No, I would never eat
The
mutton.
problem with sheep is it's not just that they eat the grass, but they tear it up with the roots. So they kill the land.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. They kill the grass.
Mm-hmm.
They can kill an entire region because they do. They pull it up and eat the whole grass seed. Everything. Oh, it's just awful.
See, I've heard about the ranch wars, but I never really knew what it was about. So, I mean, this is great.
That was it. The range wars were rough, man.
Wow.
They were rough. And this is the first time, and I've watched upwards of about 10,000 movies in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time I remember ever seeing a movie about that in America. I've never seen that depicted. I think it's something that a lot of people would like to just avoid talking about, but it was a serious problem. It was a blight. They are like nutria that eat up the roots and destroy New Orleans land into the ocean. Yeah. And, it's little things like that. I keep telling people, I know you guys think he's an idiot sometimes. He's not. Monkey Jeeves is a smart dude. Knows his stuff.
He just happens to smoke a lot of dope.
He smokes a lot of dope and gets high and just says some funny shit. And I always tell people, be careful when you meet funny guys or guys that are like that, because they're I got taken when I was in the military for being dumb. Someone actually thought that because I was always laughing and making jokes. And it even led to a situation when a guy called me goofy. And it was like that moment with Joe Pesci. What do you mean I'm funny? Funny looking? What do you mean? And I got really affronted by that. I'm like, what do you mean goofy? And the guy, like, I really wanted to fucking punch him in the face. There's my third one. And it really irritated me. Now we're going to talk about the next episode of Hello Tomorrow, the last half hour of the show. So I love this show. I'm telling you, I was shocked at how good this show is. It has heart. And that is something you don't see that often. A show with heart.
See, I heard this was coming up, but I never caught it yet. Is it really that good?
You should, yeah.
Look, I'm going to tell you something. Some of the best streaming TV shows are on Apple Plus, and it is the least watched of the streaming services. Hulu gets more views than Apple. And this show is amazeballs. It's just so good.
Yeah, because it does look really good. I've seen the trailer. It looks fun.
It's I don't know what to call it, because it's in the same vein as steampunk, where it's the 1950s to up to 1960. It's right in that window, and everything you've ever seen in Popular Mechanics magazine really happened. Robots going to the moon, living on the moon, all that shit.
Well, I've made the comparison to Fallout because it's got that same.
That's it, the Fallout, because it's not steampunk. What is that called?
It's like retro sci-fi.
Yeah, retrofuturism.
Yeah.
Thanks, Martin, for saying it in the chat, not on the show. That's great. I mean, it's not like you're on the show.
You should really stop shitting
in
on
the
your
room
chat
with
manager,
us,
Gerry.
to where you can interact with us.
Martin? Did you kick him or did he leave?
I kicked him.
Idiot. Jerk.
Now I'm going to fuck. There's my fourth one. I'm going to mess with his OCD. I'm going to keep moving him.
You
crazy.
are mean.
Shimmy to the left.
You know how to drive a drummer crazy? Put sheet music in front of him. You know how to drive Martin crazy? Keep moving him.
I'm in danger.
But you were right. It's retrofuturism. It's what Sid Mead made famous with Blade Runner. Whereas that's referred to as cyberpunk. Retrofuturism is when you go back. That's right. That's what it is. And I love that shit. You have it in one of my favorite Philip K. Dick stories where a guy lives in a false world. He doesn't know that. The entire world is designed just for him. Sound like a movie with Jim Carrey? But there's a point to it. Where Jim Carrey's movie is just for entertainment. In this world that Philip K. Dick created, it was created because he is the only astrophysicist that can mathematically break down the codes that tell them where missiles are going to be sent to them from Mars, because Earth people moved to Mars, became Martians, and a war broke out between Mars and Earth, and they send atomic, nuclear weapons through space towards Earth, and he's got to figure out by solving a puzzle every day in the local newspaper, and he lives in this world and has no idea that it's all fake. Every single person in his life is fake. They're actors.
So how many episodes of this are right now?
Right now we are at 5, I think. 5 episodes. And today we're doing episode 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2. And let's get into it, Anima, because I know you're enjoying the show as much as anybody. And we're talking about Hello Tomorrow. I love that they're floating cars. They're no wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go, Anima.
The delivery vehicles without drivers, they are fun too. With an animated bird.
Yeah, they got an animated avatar. It's a cartoon, like an old 50s stork cartoon in the delivery van, talking to people as they're driving by, clearly projected on the windshield. Hey, how are you doing? Have a good day.
Love it.
And completely unaware.
Hey, Boosh.
that it's
Hello
just
Tomorrow is on Apple TV.
Yep, I mentioned that previously, but if you missed it, it's Apple Plus TV, and I'm telling you, they really do. Now, ignore me on this on Echo 3 because that's garbage. That is pure garbage. Bad drama, bad military, just bad everything. Terrible drama, terrible, despicable, dislikable characters. No good. Characters doing stupid things in order to push the story forward. Nothing annoys me more as a writer than seeing that. That's lazy. But anyway, Hello Tomorrow, on the other hand, is completely different. It is an enjoyable romp in the 1950s with the premise that this guy may or may not be a con man who is selling a lower income version of what the rich do by living on the moon. They have these domed city on the moon that they live in. Well, we've created one that's more affordable and selling it to your average middle-class family. And I got to tell you, man, it's a ride. It is a ride, and I think it's a ride worth taking.
He is a con man. That's how the episode starts.
Because as much of his con man as he appears to be, see, you're giving away stuff. Don't do that to the rest of the series. Is he a con man, is what I say. I don't want to give it away. Yeah. It's important not to spoil what's coming. And we still, so now the cat's out of the bag, what I believe is going to happen is, I love the premise where a character realizes how flawed they are, that they try to make things right. So you take the lie and make it the truth by doing everything you can to make it happen. And I think that's the potential. I think there's the potential for that in this story. And the main character is played by Billy Crudup. And the other character who is right behind him there in that image is his son. They cast a kid that easily could be his son. It really, they're very similar in their behavior, everything. I'm sure a lot of that is in the acting, but they're just very similar. And it's his mother, his Billy Crudup's ex-wife, that he abandoned them because he was miserable. He was unhappy, and he felt a human being has a right to feel self-actualized or to try to be self-actualized. It's wrong for others to expect people to perform a function and not try to self-actualize. And that's really what's going on with his characters. He was being prevented from self-actualizing by his wife. She was very repressive, very oppressive. And you can get that as you hear, because you don't really meet her. She's the one that's hit by the van driven by the animated stork. He goes, oops, because it almost hits a dog and it backs up and runs her over and smashes her into the garage door and then just drives off like, well, everybody have a good day. And
It's so
she's
hilarious
like,
that it's aware of the dog, but not of the woman that it just
it's aware of the dog and not aware of the woman that it just put into a coma.
Oh, God.
So she's in a coma. His son is now like stuck with this, her in a hospital, and he wants to reinsert himself into this kid's life and not
So
the
he
back
hires
door
him.
for Monkey, because I know he's going to go there. Oh, reinsert. He said insert. I know how your brain works, Monkey. And it leads to some really good dramatic. And we meet these salespeople that work for Billy Crudup. None of them aware of the potential of this being a con, including his partner, really. That's the, I don't know what her name is, but she's the black gal there. And then the black guy is one of the salesmen who's married to another black gal. The black gal here is in love with Hank Azaria's character. And he's a sports gambling junkie. And he is in trouble constantly with people he owes money to. It's really good.
He's always running from these people, and
He's always on the lam, trying to figure out his next angle in order to try to pay off the last guy he still owes money to. Never breaking even, and she helps him.
I know. This is the Honeymooners meets the Jetsons.
It's not even that quite, really. I mean, it is. There's an element there, but I'm trying to find it because the Jetsons really plays into it. You are right on that one. But I wouldn't say the Honeymooners, but this is more like, what is that DiCaprio movie about being in the 50s? And his wife and he, the sexual revolution and the fight there.
Drive?
Something Road. Something
Mulholland
Road.
Road.
No, not Mulholland. It's about the sexual revolution and how she's not happy in the marriage, blah, blah, blah. That women were discovering that they didn't just have to be complacent. And it's Something Road is the name of the film. And I can't remember. It's based on a book. And it's that movie.
Arlington Road?
Jesus
No,
Christ.
no. Sorry.
Shut up, Martin. Arlington Road. It's a bomb movie. Arlington Road about terrorists, domestic terrorists.
I know. That's what I say. I'm sorry. I got confused.
You should be. Arlington Road is a good film. But this film is a lot like that one. I'll just look it up, DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio. Hold on. I'll find it here real quick. Oh, boy, I wish it was, I could say Shutter Island because I love that movie.
Yeah.
What a good film. Let's see. I will find it here because I'm certain that it's in here.
Shutter Island, when you mentioned DiCaprio, was the first thing that popped into my head.
It's a great film, man. I love that movie.
I was almost thinking of The Aviator, but that's not it.
Aviator's another great film where he played Hughes.
Yeah.
What a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. They're not, I don't see it here. I'm going to go to IMDb. I swear to God, it kills me when they don't put a film up. That should be on there. Let's see. From the Devil's Breath. No. Kid 90. The Right Stuff. TV series. I was disappointed with that show. I want actor, not producer. There we go. Hit that one. There we go. I don't like the way they have IMDb set up now. It's really weird with the whole drop downs. I don't need that. Revolutionary Road is the film I am talking about.
I've never seen that one.
Lost Anima. Storms. She'll be back if Wi-Fi allows. This is the movie I'm talking about. This movie mixed with the Jetsons is, to me, similar in theme. Both of those run together.
Kate Winslet again.
And of course, in this series, the Kate Winslet character is played by that weird-looking chick from Star Trek Picard with the weird eyes. She's wearing the blue dress there.
Oh.
God, I can't stand her. She looks so weird, but she's good in this part because her
Alison
character.
Pill?
Yeah, pill. Oh, she's a pill. She's so weird looking, but that's perfect for this character because she's a little off. Her character's off. Something ain't right with her. She's one of those people who chooses the shit into the stick and then expects everybody else to fix because she misunderstood. She misunderstands, and it's everybody else's problem.
Ooh,
She's a Karen. She's a Karen in the movie. And her Karen is necessary to the movement of the story, though, because it's because of her that things are starting to unravel for the company. Without her, that wouldn't have happened. Well, they would have had some problems, but that problem would have gone away, which was when his partner does the promo at I swear to God, it's like from Futurama. What is that ball game they play? Flurm or whatever the hell they call that ball game.
Yeah.
They play a version of baseball that looks like Flurm from Futurama. It's really weird.
Blurns ball.
What's it called?
Blurns ball.
Blurns ball. That's
Yeah.
what it is. It's Blurns ball. Because that's the only thing that's weird to me. It's like they've had baseball. They would have. It still should be baseball, but no, they make this new game up that reminds me of that one from Futurama. And during the game, full house, stadium full, they run ads for selling properties on the moon. And immediately it skyrockets sales, and it freaks Billy Crudup out because I don't think we can handle this. But what he's afraid of is that he's been flying under the radar, going town to town, door to door, flying under the radar of the federal government or even the state government. And now this is it's brought to their attention. So he has got to do some FCC work. He's got to create fake documents. And they would have got away with it, but
one for those darn kids.
But you got that Karen, that's involved. And by the time they do get found out, they've probably been long gone. Everybody would have made their commissions and gone on, and then discovered later after they got paid off, oh crap, we were selling a lie. And that's what we're moving towards, is his being found out. How long can he keep the wolves at bay?
Right.
And he's trying to also build a relationship with his son. His son doesn't know he's his son. And you've got, all the other stuff is just seasoning on the popcorn. The popcorn's the central part of this story is the relationship between Billy Crudup and his son, and his son being unaware. And I can't remember what happens in episode 2 exactly plot-wise that we lost Anima. She's the one in charge of that. But all I got to tell you is this is an amazing show of him doing things. And one of my favorite moments in the series so far is when the son, who has no father in his mind, really looks up to Billy Crudup's character. He looks up to him like a father, but he hates his father. He abandoned us. And Billy Crudup's trying to find a way to do it. And he keeps being told by his partner, you need to tell him. You need to tell him the truth. And I'll do it. I'll eventually do it. And he's not done it so far. He chickens out every single time. He's going to do it. And but then this moment arises when we meet the girl the young man's in love with. And the father doesn't like him and wants to meet the father. And it leads to one of my favorite moments in it, where the truth keeps coming out. And I love the way the truth comes out in the show. Even when Billy Crudup tells the truth, only we know it's the truth. Those in the show, the characters with him, are not aware it's the truth. And he tells the truth all the time. Confesses to it.
But it raises a lot of suspicion still.
But the thing is, though, the kid's completely unaware that what he says when he meets the father, when he goes off on the girl's dad,
right,
and then suddenly the dad has a whole different reaction to everything. Because he tells him, I failed as his father, and I left, and that he allows me in his life at all is a blessing, because this kid's amazing. He has taking care of his mother, all of this stuff, and all of a sudden he's telling the truth. The kid doesn't know that. No idea. And I love that. It's such brutal gorgeous dialogue and writing. And I'm afraid of the end of the season. I'm afraid of it. And when you become afraid of something in a series, you're engaged. You are engaged as a viewer. And I'm afraid of where this is going. I'm so afraid for the characters. I love that.
See, that makes for a good show. Yeah.
It's good drama. It's good comedy, too, because it's funny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Hank Azaria leads to a lot of the comedy. And there's this one funny moment in one of the later episodes, we'll talk about it later, where the most clean-cut couple in the show get caught with their pants down, banging off camera. And it's one I just laughed my butt off at that scene.
Oh, man.
Because everybody is like, and they're like,
oh, my.
It's such a good show.
That happens in our 50s utopia.
So anything important, any points you want to mention in this episode as to really what stand out and made it good?
Well, the episode is basically Joey's first day at work.
Mm-hmm. The son.
He is so bad. He is so bad.
He is terrible at it. But what's fun is, and by the end of the episode, he finds his footing.
He does, yeah.
Through his sincerity. It's his sincerity that allows him to be a good salesman, which he gets from his dad.
Yeah.
Because his dad, despite everything, is an agent of hope.
He is.
He is an agent of good. He's a con man. Once again, I'm going to make this comparison. The Music Man. Yeah. Because the main character, I forget his name now.
Jack.
In The Music Man. In The Music Man, he's in this town to con them out of money, build this marching band, all this shit, doing all this stuff. And it's just all about getting their money and then leaving. But he ends up doing something, and he changes everything, and he falls in love. What a great film. I love The Music Man. If you've never seen it, it's when the con man discovers that he wants to make the lie the truth. And that's what this show is. The show is a sci-fi version of The Music Man in many ways.
Well, that's what we think it is at this point. We
don't know. The last episode we saw, because there's a new episode today we're going to have to watch after TGIF.
Harold Hill.
Harold Hill. Another alliterism. I love that.
Yep.
Robert Preston. Yeah.
Robert Preston is so good in that role. That song is etched into my brain. We Got Trouble right here in River City. That starts with T and that rhymes with P. And that stands for pool. It's about temperance, cleaning up the town, getting on the good side of all the religious folk in town and getting money off, bilking them out of their money. And that's really what this guy does. And he sells happiness, but it's a false happiness. Whereas in this one, even though it's once again false happiness, he is once again an agent of happiness. He uses that false happiness to sell them hope. And the greatest moment is in that Howard Johnson's restaurant where he sits next to this guy and starts talking to him. And he says, either you're going to punch me after I say all this, or I made a point. And he clearly made a point, and because the guy doesn't punch him. The guy asked him, how many times you been punched? Too many times.
That hasn't happened in a while.
Oh, that hasn't happened in a while. He says, Hank Azaria is one of the most criminally underrated actors ever. If you can do comedy, you can do anything. If you've never seen The Birdcage, oh, absolutely.
That's a must-see.
Yeah, he is so funny in that movie. I have one beef with him, and it's just him kowtowing to the whole Simpsons thing with Apu. Man. Because Apu was a representation of the Indian people in a good, positive way. He's a positive role model. Mm-hmm. So what? Find somebody else to voice him. Let Hank Azaria step away from that one. Find someone else. That's fine, as long as they're good. You got a guy that replaced the actor who did the voice of Cleveland Brown, who nails it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine if you are ashamed of doing the voice of a black character. It's not blackface. It's really not. Why they say that, it's ridiculous. But if you feel that way, that's fine. But you can't sit there and act all pious after you made a fortune playing that character, which is what the guy who played Cleveland Brown actor made a fortune playing Cleveland Brown, a fortune. He retired on that and is happy. And it's like, I just call bullshit on people. It's phony. You're a phony. You're a big fat phony.
Yeah.
Another Family Guy reference. So, but this episode is so good. The kid finally, by the end, discovers his footing by using his sincerity to help sell. But one of the moments, my favorite moments, was he goes to that door and Billy Crudup's like, this is make or break. He's got to get in that door. If he can't get in that door, I got to kick him. I got to find some other way of building our relationship. And the kid gets in the door at the end. He sees him go in the door and he's like, yes, so proud. But then you find out later he paid the guy to let him in his house. I'll give you $10 if you let me in.
That's why he leaves the game, because he's so disappointed in himself.
What nobody has noticed, though, in that makes him a little bit of a con man. Right?
Yeah.
Skirting the edges of honesty. Lying
I really
to the
like
guy.
how he sells to his boss at the grocery store, because he's like, yeah,
That was one of my favorite moments.
And that
sells him
yeah.
moon property.
Yeah, I know it's not for you, and just casually deposits a flyer there. Yeah, sure, it's not for you. It doesn't work for you. The boss is like,
And this is reminiscent too of that period from the 30s, 40s, 50s, when people go around door to door selling.
Yeah.
Encyclopedias, vacuum cleaners.
Not just those, would sell parts of bridges. You get a part of ownership in this bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here in America,
Brooklyn Bridge all the time.
Brooklyn Bridge, Golden Gate Bridge. There were guys out there bilking people out of millions of dollars, telling them that they now own a part of this great landmark.
Yeah,
you
had to be part of Grifter back in the day.
I cannot wrap my brain around that one.
And really, I put that more into what this show is they're selling the Brooklyn Bridge. He's selling the Brooklyn Bridge with the property on the moon. And he's got everything, because we already discovered that two of the people who are supposed to be on the moon we see on the show are actually in the same senior center. The guy who's supposedly the law on the moon lives in the same senior center as Billy Crudup's mom.
And the boss is his turtle.
And the rocks, also his boss is the turtle. That's right. The tortoise is his boss, the name he uses. And the rocks that he says is from the moon is from the terrarium that the tortoise lives in. And he shows that to people. See that? That came from the moon. I'm telling you, man, this is a beautiful, beautiful show.
What's also necessary to mention is Cheryl, she means well, but she gets him in trouble by buying that ad at the game.
Yeah, I told him about that while you were gone. When she does that ad, he panics because, but again, if it weren't for the Karen character, Pill, Allison
the
Pill, nothing would have really come of that. He would have done the fake documents and it would have gone away. But because the Karen is there, as he's destroying those documents because he was ordered to, he pulls them back out later. And this is a whole new problem. And it's all because of the Allison Pill character. Her character is an essential part for the story. I love that when writers do that. They make somebody essential for things to go wrong. This character has to exist. Without this character, things would not go wrong. And it's Allison Pill. And Allison Pill's character is absolutely deranged. She burned down her home with her husband in it.
Yeah. And by the way, because I rewatched it this morning after I got up, we were both wondering, how is the guy picking up on her being unhappy? Because they've been in that house earlier on the day, thinking they are selling to a couple, but it was his mistress. Because he sees a photo and he sees like the lady we're talking to is not his wife from the photo. That's how he knows. And he has a bad conscience, so he goes back to the house and sells her away to have a happy future. And she buys it, and then she sets the house on fire.
Yeah. I got to be honest, Joe. I would really like to do a whole show dedicated to that movie on Saturday. Heat and how it's based on the true story and how the true story really is in there. It's really in there, all of it, including the reference to Al Pacino being a cokehead cop, because the real cop was a cokehead.
Hey,
And they don't
Vegas
show the
in the house.
cocaine. They don't show the cocaine, but it's there in his behavior. And that's how they do it through Al Pacino, because Al Pacino would be one way, and then all of a sudden he'd be up here. And then he'd be back to normal, and then he'd be up here. And I find your use of the term Karen problematic and hurtful. Look, you outed yourself. Your real name, Matt, is Matt Karen.
Yeah. Karen Vader.
For me, the Karen name that is problematic is Karen Black. What a racist name. Only people who know that's a real person and an actor. I think we just lost her, didn't we, in the last few years? She was really in a lot of the disaster porn movies. She was in Airport. She's just all over the place. She was a weird looking lady to begin with, but she was an overactor. She was one of those actors that just overacts. And I think one of the best ones I ever saw was with Jack Nicholson in 5 Easy Pieces. Her overacting in that one really made Nicholson tame. His character is so tame and calm in comparison to Karen Black's character in that movie. We need to talk about it. Matt is a Karen Bear, confirmed Karen Bear. Oh, man. But if you're not watching these shows, look, you're missing some of the best on TV. Hello Tomorrow is on Apple Plus, and 1923 is on Paramount Plus. And if you don't want to get Paramount Plus because you're pissed at Paramount, I understand that. But you can actually get Paramount Plus and punish those shows that you are mad about by not watching them. When you don't watch them, that's a number that gets counted. It's a negative number because they'll have this number that shows how many subscribers they have compared to the number not watching something. You got to think. Also, when you don't add those shows to your watch list, hurts them too. On top of that, if you do start to watch something, Paramount pays attention to how long you watch it and what moment you quit.
That's right. Those top numbers.
It's a fact. That is a fact. That they not just the numbers, but the timing is important. And they will go look to see, because they know where every scene was, and they'll go and they'll look and they'll know what scene you bowed out at. And so I tell people all the time, don't punish, because they got great stuff. They got Perry Mason, got Columbo. They got everything on Paramount. All the classic, original Star Trek series. They got everything. The Star Trek movies. They got everything. They just also happen to have a lot of crap on there. But when you don't watch the crap, you send a signal. You're telling them something. So 1923, absolutely. This is if it's 5 stars is the best the show is, this is a 5-star series, period.
Agreed.
Those eyes.
Again, with Hello Tomorrow, 5-star series. Absolutely. I have yet to find a problem with either of these shows when it comes to their writing, storytelling, or acting.
My problem with 1923 is that they ended after
We have
8
3
episodes.
minutes left.
We need more. We want more.
We can actually end at the top of the hour. No, we're running the show today, so we'll end it right at the top of the hour. So we got 6.5 minutes. So, but I got to tell you, these shows are top notch. When we're done with these, I want to find some more, because I think Fantastic Friday should just be about current TV shows and how awesome they are. And Saturday Morning Fun Time is about past shows and movies and such.
I think we should do Yellowstone.
I would not mind to, but you've got to finish watching them. You have to finish watching them.
What about Shadows and Bone? The second series starts next week, I think.
What one?
Shadows and Bone.
I've not watched that show.
I got to really start and catch up on Yellowstone.
Why would you put ketchup on a show? That's weird.
Gerry,
you put ketchup on hamburgers and hot dogs.
I thought we were watching Yellowstone together.
Canadians and your weird habits.
I know.
It's on Netflix. Shadow and Bone. It's a fantasy series.
You got to be careful with me, because I don't necessarily like a genre based off of just that being a genre. I have to be engaged with the characters. So I'm going to give the first episode a watch and see if I engage. And if it is, let's talk about it. If I don't, I'll let you know. I'll just say I'm not engaging with this show. I think it's important. But
okay, you ought to give it a look at least.
But I will. I've just added it to my queue to watch, and it's unbelievable. As much as I work, people are like, how do you watch so many movies? I said, I don't really watch them so much as listen to them. And I can kind of, because I have good peripheral vision and I can see shit happening peripherally, but I have a second screen. So while I'm doing art on my main screen or vice versa, because sometimes I need the larger monitor to do my artwork, I'll switch them up and put a movie on or a TV show and I'll let them go.
As a bonus, he has me in his ear.
Yep. Super weird show predicting Gerry will hate it. Uh-oh. Let's see if Matt Vader gets at least one thing right this year.
Ouch.
He's right all the time. I'm just messing with him.
Or is it, hey, it?
I read typo, Matt. You don't ever have to worry about that. I read typo. I know what word you meant to say. It's really weird. I just automatically go, oh, that's what word you meant. Yellowstone lore, it was taken from us Indians and then made into a national park, then a series. Well, the thing is, though, Yellowstone actually doesn't take place at Yellowstone. It takes place elsewhere. The name of the ranch is Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And there is that conflict in there between him and the rival tribe. And it's a legitimate argument between both. It is. And I think Sheridan does a really good job of trying to show both perspectives on this. And that's what I like about it, because he can write any character and thinking in any way. I'd love to see him write a political drama, even though there are politics in Yellowstone that tend to lean very conservative in most ways. But he has a main character in there now who's very much a tree hugger. And the same thing goes with Mayor of Kingstown. Look at that. The mother is absolutely one of those tree huggers that hates what her kids do and what her husband started in this job of skirting the law in order to keep peace. She hates it. But then by this new season, she's starting to understand the necessity of it because she lost a son to it and a husband to it. And she's starting to see that when things aren't managed, they go crazy in this prison town because the entire economy is built around that prison based off of the real town in Canada, Mike, of Kingston.
Yeah.
And I forget what province is that in?
Kingston. Ontario.
Yeah. That's where the real prison is that show is
right.
based on. And the real creator of the show. That's why, once again, Taylor Sheridan is the co-creator of the show because he helped develop it as a series. And I believe he's the one who made it in America. I believe he's the one who decided to put it in America. Getting California, yes, absolutely. And absolutely, it is the Sopranos in the West.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, because instead of being mob family, it is blood family. But it still has the exact same ramifications. It is blood in, blood out. Once you get that branding, you don't leave. And I love it. The whole learning when Beth learns what taking someone to the train station really means. She's freaked out by that.
I see that on the side of a truck every morning to go get coffee at Tim Hortons. Yeah. Got to bring Trudeau to the train station. Love it. Love it. He is there without fail at a particular time. It is awesome to see that. And I haven't even watched the show yet. That's how popular it is.
Before we go, I will say I do like Carnival Row, but I don't know if we'll ever do that show. I don't think it's that well written. I think it's fun. I enjoy the fun of the show, but they make a lot of logic mistakes, plot-wise, story-wise, that bug me. Hey, Chris is here. Hi, Chris. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Chris.
Good to see you, man. Dork Knight's here, too. Look at that. Dork's here.
You know,
Right at the end.
now, right?
Right at the end. Look at this shit. All right, man. I want to say bye to everybody. If I said hi to everybody, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Peter
everybody's
Vinkman's girl is here too. I missed that one. So I've got everybody else. I hope everybody has a wonderful Friday. See you in about an hour for TGIF. I still have to do the graphics and promote that.
Let's get out of here then.
So get us out of here, man. End of the show. Bye.